Oh my goodness. We have had a great showcase on Sunday for E3 2021. Yes, what's going on, my peeps? Your man Versatile's back with another video. Back here to talk about the game week that is E3 2021, which included Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest to kick everything off, which was probably considered the pre-show, which happened Thursday. Then we had some commotion on Friday with Koch and a couple other gaming shows. I think Day of the Devs, Guerrilla Collective, and then E3 officially basically kicked off Saturday, June 12th, with showcases from Ubisoft, or Ubisoft, however you want to pronounce it, Ubisoft Forward. And then Sunday came. Xbox, Square Enix, Warner Bros. Back for Blood, which is basically a reincarnation of Left 4 Dead, an old Xbox goodie, or Xbox 360 goodie. Gaming is back. But before we get into it, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, so that way you never miss my videos, and then we can sit back, chillax, and see what's cracking. Now, let's get into the video. So, I put together a list of games that stuck out to me, games that I'm looking forward to trying to play, and a lot of sleepers, a lot of sleeper hitters that I was not expecting, but I'm glad that they showed up. Case in point, when it came to Koch, I wish that they did not show up at all, or they only showed up for about 7 to 10 minutes, because they really didn't have much gameplay to show. They didn't have concepts to show. They just did a lot of talking. So I think a point of criticism for them is, going forward, if you guys do get another opportunity to be a part of this game week type thing, be considerate of people's time in terms of what you're going to do. If you don't have much to show, just show what you have, or don't show up, just make some announcements. Case in point, we'll get to them later, but Xbox did this perfectly at the end of their showcase with Bethesda. They mentioned, honorable mentions, Avowed and Fable, two games that was not a part of the showcase. You don't have to do a lot of explanation, talking, telling if you don't have anything to show, or if the games are further away than either you thought or we thought. And we understand COVID affected a lot, but just in general, please, Koch, don't do that to us again. Please, take Devolver's route and just put something together that's very cinematic, funny, interesting, and talk about some games that you have, and keep it to 30 minutes or less. I said 10 minutes because you didn't have much to show. Devolver, I didn't mention them when I was talking before. They showed up right after Ubisoft. Did a great job for 30 minutes, just showing us some things that they had coming down the pipeline, and they left it there. And then Gearbox probably shouldn't have had anything either, because they basically just regurgitated what had already been shown at Summer Games Fest and Friday with Day of the Devs, and Guerrilla Collective, I guess you could say, and then you kind of just don't show us or give us anything to work with. So Saturday was a bit of a blur. It was unfortunate, but I hope that they learn from this and then do better next year. Now let's get into the fun. All right, let's get into the fun. First game, Riders Republic, coming out September 2nd. That game looks very fun to play. It reminds me of SSX Tricky and Steep, but then also just has a good vibe of some first-person play with the dirt bikes or whatever, and snowboarding, skiing. What is it? The little squirrel suit, flying in the air and parachuting, basically. That game looked really, really nice. I'm gonna definitely stick in the squirrel suit, snowboard, dirt bike range, but that looked very fun to play. And the fact that we got a release date, for quite a few amount of games, surprisingly, which is good. We want to see when these games are final draft, rough draft-ishly coming out. And even if it gets delayed by a week or two or a month, at least we know there's a date attached to the game and not just a year. So Riders Republic, September 2nd. Then you had Rainbow Six Extraction. That looked really, really good as well. Aliens come down to Earth, of course, and strategically you gotta try to take out and save your comrades or your squad. So Rainbow Six Siege, I have not played a Rainbow Six game in a very long time, but nice showing up with that kind of game, because that's exciting. That is exciting right there. Look out for Rainbow Six Extraction coming September 16th. Then you have Dolmen, which was supposed to be released back in 2019. Of course, COVID probably pushed them off for 2020, and now the efforts is this year. They didn't have a date for it, but Dolmen looked kind of interesting just because I like the aesthetic of the protagonist or the main character, the hero, if you will. So that's why I had some interest there. Ghost Runner's getting a PS5 upgrade, and I would imagine Xbox Series X, or it might be PS5 only, or it's limited, but June 29th, look out for that. Batora Lost Haven, that looked good. I'm guessing that's coming out later this year. That looked really, really good as well. It's a female protagonist. She has some powers, and that looks amazing. Side note, I was expecting Forspoken to have some gameplay time today, and it didn't, especially since it's Square Enix game, and they just got through with their game show today. Today's Sunday as of this recording. I thought we would have saw more Forspoken, but we didn't, so that kind of made me feel a little disappointed because I really wanted to see some more from that, or just some more explanation about the story, even if it was just a cinematic gameplay trailer. I really wanted to see some more of that, but maybe of course we will later down the year, maybe at Sony's, whenever Sony decides to have a showcase, because they're not officially apart, having their own dedicated conference or showpiece. So maybe we'll see Forspoken there. It would be nice if we could see Forspoken there. Splitgate, July 27th. It was also initially slated for 2019. That looks like a fun PvP online-ish game, and that was another one that came out of left field that had a very interesting graphic, artistic appeal. So be on the lookout for that as well. Yeah, Origami 2 coming September 17th. Really gave me Ghost of Tsushima vibes. Maybe Ghost of Tsushima was also heavily referenced from there, but I think Ghost of Tsushima was in works for like 7 years or something like that. So well before even the first Origami game, but Origami looked pretty interesting. So if you guys are interested in that, that dropped. Sifu released another gameplay heavy trailer. Still don't have a complete release date yet, but that's slated for 2021. That looks cool. Somehow, some way, shape, or form, I don't know, it's when you get KO'd that you age and you get older as the game progresses, like accelerated growth in terms of looking old. So that looks pretty interesting. It reminds me, as I said before, Jet Li's Rise of Honor. For some reason, it reminds me of that and Absolver. So it's going to be an interesting game to actually check out. Come on, PlayStation, bring that game to us. Then you have Kena Bridge of Spirits. As they gave us an even more in-depth look at Kena, for me, I actually found that game to be way more interesting. Like, the story and the idea, concept behind it actually is what maybe brought me a little bit more to the game, because I had one thought about it, and then when I saw it again, I'm like, oh, it's actually coming from a nice, interesting perspective. So Kena Bridge of Spirits got a release date of August 24th, 2021. Y'all looking forward to that? That's an indie game ready to take flight. So hopefully that game does very, very well. You guys check it out as well. Then you had, to close out Ubisoft Forward, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. No date. Most likely 2022. It is 2022. So that's going to be or there was a date. I might be playing. I think there was a date on Pandora. So if you don't get me wrong, I think it's January 21st, 2022. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's January 2022. But I might be thinking of another game. If I am, I think it's still slated for 2022. I don't know if this is supposed to give us like a quick synopsis and catch us up on what happened in the first Avatar movie that hit back in 2009. I know that there's supposed to be another 4 movies to do like a 5-movie deal, story type of deal. So I don't know if this game fits into the story, if it's just a one-off. Graphically, it looks amazing. What will the gameplay look like remains to be seen, because they didn't really give us a gameplay footage. Next game, Trek to Yomi. That game looked pretty cool. This is from Devolver, and it's also another samurai game. Looks like it's much more in black and white. Very, very Kurosawa-like, and it looks like some level of a 2D platformer. Looks amazing. So I'm interested to check that out from Devolver. Their press showcase was amazing again. Like, I know like before they got real graphic and crazy with it, but this time they actually honed it in a lot better, and just they were kind of making fun of or memeing, all these Game Pass, Battle Pass, subscriptions that's been coming out, PlayStation Plus, all that. So they were kind of memeing that as they were going through their press showcase of their games. Very hilarious, by the way. It was actually pretty good. The actress that was Dina's, if not voice, actual visual actress, if you will, or what they call it, body motion cam actress, whatever. She was in it as well. I think her name's Casina. So that was pretty interesting. So shout out to Devolver for that. Phantom Abyss was another game from Devolver. I think it's Phantom Abyss 2, and it's first person. You run it through a labyrinth, trying not to fall through the pit holes, and you got this whiplash or whatever that can catch yourself or to swing from stuff, and you gotta be careful for all the little traps that's set within the labyrinth that you're trying to make it through. So that game looked pretty interesting. And then Severed Steel, that looked interesting. I actually can't remember off the top of my head right now, but Severed Steel looked pretty interesting. And then we have Microsoft coming out the gate November 11, 2022, Starfield. I don't know if I've ever played, if there was any other Starfield games, but this Starfield game looks incredible visually. Again, no gameplay trailer, but a cinematic trailer to kind of just show off the fact that it is on its way late next year. Starfield looked great, and of course it's console exclusive to Xbox. And then you had Halo Infinite. Still no date, holiday 2021, but they showed off a lot of gameplay, mainly in the multiplayer aspect. You get to do a lot of grapple hooking to stuff. You can actually shoot towards weapons that, I guess, catapult weapons into the air. That way you can grab it and then you keep going. It's bringing a lot of old school flashback vibes of hooking up Xboxes together and playing multiplayer with friends. So I'm excited for that. To me, it looks visually fine. I just wish they would just drop a release date. I know in the gameplay trailer, or the cinematic gameplay trailer, they showed that Cortana's gone and now a new AI has stepped in place of her, and she was also supposed to be deleted, but it wasn't. And Master Chief is about to find out why. The chief he is. Just too good, too good. And then 12 Minutes, which was actually talking about before Halo, but 12 Minutes is like this top-down kind of 3D, 2D, aspect game about like this couple. They fight or whatever. They have this ongoing relationship. The wife gets accused for murder, and then but it's a time loop that he gets trapped in. They got Willem Dafoe, I think, narrating. They got James McAvoy, who played Magneto, Professor X in the First Class, the more recent X-Men movies. He's a voice actor, and then Daisy Ridley is another voice actress. So they got a star-studded cast in terms of what we're going to vocally hear, and I'm looking forward to actually potentially trying that game out. And then, I don't know, it's on my face, y'all. And then, of course, Xbox ends with The Outer Worlds 2 and a game called Redfall, which looks very reminiscent of like a Left 4 Dead-like game. But Outer Worlds 2, I don't know if you guys played Outer Worlds. I did not play Outer Worlds, but I heard it was a good game, and I hear people are really excited about Outer Worlds 2. Obsidian is really doing their thing, because they also showed off like a Grounded update as well. They're busy over there cracking out the things for its Xbox community. So shout out to Xbox for that. And overall, their showcase was the best, period. Like dates for upcoming games, dates for future games, constant gameplay footage. The pace just never stopped. It felt so good. They showed us like 30 games, and of those 30 games, 27 are going to will be released on Game Pass day and date, or day one basically. So Xbox is trying their hardest to definitely conquer or stay very competitive during this next gen and forward period of time for gaming. And this is what made me really want to see Sony also show up, because with Sony we have like 6 to 7 games that we know of that's just going to be legit. It may not be 30 games, but they have at least a good 7 to 10, and all we need is release dates for them. That's all we need. All we need is release dates. So that's what we want to see from Sony, and hopefully we will this month in June, since so much commotion in the games is going on right now. Sony's probably just trying to give themselves some time, so when they come lay the hammer down, they lay it down well, right? All right. Then Square Enix with a very interesting showcase. Their showcase from their stream, and I think even Marvel stream was like no music. Like all the licensed music was replaced or removed, and really they only replaced Guardians of the Galaxy in the beginning, and it was completely silence. If not for some music for one scene, no sound effects for that. But then like everything else, if not, didn't have no sound. Period. Just had sound effects. So I don't know what Square Enix was trying to do, man. That was like, ugh. But if you watch it from IGN's, there was sound. So I encourage all, if you guys haven't already, go watch the individual pieces that you want to see from the showcase, or see if IGN still has the showcase up, and then watch it from there. And you should get a better hearing experience when it comes to just a well-rounded, put-together showcase. But outside of that, opening up with a banger that is Guardians of the Galaxy was a very, very smart idea, and that was a very good play because that looks very good. You play as Star-Lord, you control the story basically by decisions you make and how that affects the other squad members such as Gamora, Drax, Groot, and Rocket. And then in battle, you control them while you're playing Star-Lord, and then they have different combos. They have at least 4 apiece, and then on top of that, they have some level of like group combos. So that game's looking really, really good. That's October 26, 2021. I'm excited for that. And then Marvel's Avengers probably dropped the ball on this, not Square Enix, but Marvel's Avengers, or I guess you could say the team that's behind that, because although they did show us that the Cosmic Cube is still coming June, they didn't give us a date during the showcase. It's June 22nd. So, you know, what's that? 8-9 days from now. I heard that's a Tuesday. I don't understand why you couldn't put the date in the trailer. Even when you go watch it on their platform, on their YouTube channel, it's not in the trailer, but it is in the description box. So if you go in the description box, you see it there. That's where I first found it. And then I saw them tweet it out later with the date attached to the tweet. I'm like, why wouldn't you just put it in the trailer? And then they followed up with War for Wakanda expansion, where we got to see some story gameplay. We got to see just the lower half face of T'Challa. We got to see Shuri. We got to see some of the Dora Milaje, some of the male guards. We got to see Wakanda, which looks nice. We got to see Ulysses Claw coming for that vibranium, and a different form of him towards the end, which was amazing. Just looked really good. But then, of course, along with not having any music for the trailer, they don't drop the date when it's supposed to come. Now, I had predicted rather, that we was going to see that game September for a full year release. I was happily wrong, because we're getting it in August. And the same deal with the Cosmic Cube event happened with War for Wakanda. If you go watch that independent trailer on their channel, on Marvel's Avengers channel, you'll see in the description box, August 2021. For some reason, they couldn't just put it in the trailer. It makes no sense. And then, of course, they tweeted it out later saying coming this August. Now, of course, my bet, as we've seen with most of this stuff, is it's been the later half of each month. So, you know, with Hawkeye, we got that March 18th, 19th, right? And then April, we didn't get anything, right? And then May, we got whatever event that was. Oh, the Maestro. And that was like late May, 22nd or something like that, 26th, somewhere in there. It was late May. And so I'm looking with June, that's also going to be late. And I think we actually got Hawkeye in April, but don't completely quote me on that. But later parts of the month is when we've been getting these. So I'm guessing August is going to be late August as well, like August 26th, 27th, as close to September as possible. Let's put it like that. So I'm not too off with that prediction, but I'm glad I was still able to predict something there. And matter of fact, once I'm done with these games, 'cause that was the last game that was of my interest, of course. If we actually look at my prediction, because I should still have it on here. I predicted, now it's not completely over, right? We still got Monday and Tuesday before it's officially over. But so far, my Horizon gameplay release day announcement, that's really more so dependent on Sony as opposed to E3, I guess, since Sony's keeping the straps down on that. But we haven't got anything for God of War Ragnarok. We haven't got nothing for Horizon Forbidden West. We haven't got nothing for Jak and Daxter. We haven't got nothing for Jedi Fallen Order. Well, technically we did like in a tweet or something like that. Jedi Fallen Order PS5 upgrades coming soon, or just dropped this past Friday. So all it wasn't announced, it happened during the E3 week. I'll take the credit for that. You know what I'm saying? Then you got KOTOR or Knights of the Republic. Nothing there yet. Last of Us multiplayer teaser announcement. Haven't heard anything from that yet. Halo Infinite gameplay update. We did get a gameplay update, and we got gameplay update in terms of multiplayer and what we get to see happen in that. Now we didn't get a date, but I didn't predict that, so I'm right on Halo. So I got 2 right so far: the Jedi Fallen Order and the Halo. New first-party exclusive for Xbox. I called it. That was Redfall. They released it as a one more thing. So that's 3 that I got right. One indie is going to take everyone by surprise. We're not done yet. I'm trying to think what indie that would have been that took people by surprise. Is Tiny Tina an indie that would have taken people by surprise? I'll go back and look, but Bethesda deal further explained. Essentially, they did that, showing the games that are dropping on Xbox and how a lot of these games coming forward thereafter are Xbox exclusives. So I'll take 4 there. We ain't getting no Uncharted teaser, no Spider-Man 2 yet, no Beautiful Joe, no Days Gone 2, no G4 TV, and then of course Black Panther Adventures content. So that's 5 things out of my 16 or so. 5 out of 16 so far. I'm batting just under 30%, about 30%, about 30%. So not too shabby, not too shabby. You know, if it was baseball, that's very great. 30% is very great. If you go look at Riders Republic is not an indie game. So what would be an indie game? If it's not Splitgate, Origami 2, or Ghost Run, I don't think would be. I want to say Kenna Bridge of Spirits, but I think that already took people by storm. So I think a new indie title is what we were looking for. And if it's not Trek to Yomi, maybe Phantom Abyss. Yeah, I think that. So now at least that's the one that I was paying attention to. So I don't know if I can do 6 out of 16 in terms of my predictions yet. We will find out officially after Monday, Tuesday, and if we get any more information from my other predictions. But those is what I'm actually looking forward to being. Hey, my camera died on me. I was right at the end of finishing that video. But yes, let me know down in the comments you guys' thoughts over E3 overall so far. What you guys thought about Xbox's showcase, Gearboxes, Koch's, Devolver Digital's, Guerrilla Collective's, Summer Games Fest, Square Enix. Let me know what you guys thought about what they presented, the games that you might be looking forward to, some of the thoughts I had on some of the games that I was liking. Let me know down in the comments section below. And then if you guys got to watch, of course, Monday and Tuesday, let me know you guys' thoughts about Take-Two and Verizon and Capcom and the like. Let me know down in the comments section below. But again, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys like the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss my videos. So we can sit back, chillax, see what's cracking. It's your man Verso signing out, and until the next video, I need my PS5 controller because I still don't have a PS5. Even I'm waiting for it.